Hello and welcome. We're about to explore one of the biggest questions we can ask. How do we find meaning when we're faced with loss? We're going to dive into a text that sees life not as something that just ends, but as an eternal journey. So, let's get into it.
It all starts with a question that, sooner or later, touches every single one of us. When you lose someone you love, it's more than just sadness, isn't it? Suddenly, your mind is just racing with questions about what this all means, what life is even for. It forces you to zoom out from the day-to-day and really look at the big picture.
And when you start asking those huge questions, you usually find yourself at a fork in the road with two very different views. Is life just a fleeting shadow, something that's here and then gone, limited only to this world? Or could it be the beginning of something more, a journey towards a light you can just make out on the horizon? The path you choose to see, well, that changes everything.
So, let's really explore that second idea, the idea of a journey. To do that, we're going to use a really powerful metaphor. I want you to think of your life not as a line that just stops, but more like a process of growth, starting from a single, tiny seed that holds all this incredible potential.
You can almost break this journey down into three amazing stages. First, you have the seed. That's all of our hidden potential, everything we could be. Then there's the sapling. That's the process, right? The growing, the struggling, the reaching for the sun. And finally, you get the fruit. That's the moment of realization, when you can actually taste the meaning of it all.
And here's the thing. This isn't just some abstract idea. It applies directly to you and me every single day. Just think about it for a second. Every single thing you do is like planting a seed for the future. Every word you say is like a little sapling that's waiting to grow. You're shaping the world, right now, in ways you might not even see yet.
Okay, so if life is this journey of growth, what tools do we even have to find our way? Well, the source material we're looking at points to two absolutely essential guides, knowledge and wisdom. Now, they might sound kind of similar, but they actually play two very, very different roles.
And here's the key difference. It's such a great analogy. Knowledge, that's your map. It shows you the path, it tells you where to go. But you can't walk a long journey with just a map in your hand, right? That's where wisdom comes in. Wisdom is the walking staff you lean on. It supports you, it nurtures your heart, and it actually makes the walk easier. You need both. You absolutely need both to get where you're going.
But what happens if we stop walking? What if we get our map and our staff and then we just sit down? If we stop using our gifts in service to others? The text makes this incredibly powerful argument that, just like in nature, if you're not growing, you're decaying. Inaction weakens the soul.
And you see this everywhere, don't you? Water that doesn't move becomes stagnant and foul. Iron that sits unused just rusts away. The argument here is that the exact same thing is true for our spirit. It's the movement, the action, the service, that's what keeps the soul alive and thriving.
Now, why we choose to act or not to act, that's all deeply tied to our worldview, the way we see the universe itself, whether we see it as empty or just a big question mark or as something full of meaning. That perspective completely shapes our entire journey.
So this table kind of breaks down three very different outlooks. If your viewpoint is that the universe is fundamentally just emptiness, the result is often despair. If you see it as just total uncertainty, where we can't know anything for sure, that can lead to a lot of anxiety. But then there's a third perspective presented here, one where the universe is seen in a totally different light.
In this third view, the universe isn't empty or uncertain. Instead, it's seen as a map of mercy. What a phrase, right? This perspective basically transforms the great unknown from something to be feared into a reason for trust. It suggests there's an inherent meaning and kindness built into the fabric of reality, and that, in turn, can bring a real sense of peace.
And this brings us right to the heart of it all, life's purpose and death's passage. From this viewpoint, they aren't enemies locked in a fight. They're actually two faces of the exact same truth. So what does it truly mean to live? Well, in this view, the real joy of life isn't found in just, sustaining yourself. It's hidden in something bigger, the ideal of keeping others alive, of helping them through service. Our lives find their deepest meaning in what we give away.
This verse just captures that idea so beautifully. To live is to be in motion, giving, serving, sharing. Love isn't just a passive feeling. It's the actual path you walk through, your actions for others.
And if that's life, then what does it mean to die? Here, death gets completely reframed. It's not the end of the book. It's a passage. It's the moment that completes the meaning of the chapter of life. And it's the turning of the page to whatever comes next, to eternity.
And these final lines just leave us with this feeling of profound calm. In this worldview, our life is a precious trust, something we've been given to care for. And death isn't a tragedy, it's a brace. It's a gentle passage back to the eternal.
So, all of this brings us right back here, back to you, and back to this very moment. If everything we do is a seed, and every word we say is a sapling, the question this whole explainer leaves us with is a really simple one, but a really powerful one. What seeds will you plant today?